Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all to another session of our study of Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are studying the important verses of Bhagavad Gita. We are trying to understand the meaning and application in our day-to-day life. So we can start with the prayers. Can I have one volunteer to do the prayers, please?
Krishna Chaitanya.
Yes, Krishna Chaitanya.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Sharakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Turyavadi Pachatadeshatarine Jai Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Sadi Gauri Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Very nice. Thank you so much. And each one of you can take turns and recite one verse of your choice from the verses we have learned before.
Krishna Chaitanya.
Yes, Krishna Chaitanya.
Muktaram Yagna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Natvamam Shantim Richati.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mathaji.
Yes, Hare.
6.34.
Yes.
Chanchalamyamana Krishna Pramati Balavadradam Tasyaham Nigraham Manye Vayureva Suduskaram.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Astra. Anmol and Sai Vedas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mathaji.
Yes, Sai Vedas.
Can I do Karpanya Dosha?
Yes, sure.
Karpanya Dosho Pavatama Svabhava Krasnami Kam Dharma Samodacheta Yasvayatanichidam Nuhitam Nishyasya Hamsari Mam Tvam Prapannam.
Very nice, very nice. Anmol?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I say 6.47?
Yes.
Yoginam api sarvesham margatanam tarakmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam samayukta tamo mataha.
Very nice. Thank you so much. So today we are going to do Manushyanam Sahasreshu and we are going to enter the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So before that, let's see what we did last time. Last time we studied this verse 6.34, which spoke about controlling the obstinate mind. So Arjuna was complaining that it is very, very hard to control the mind. A very strong mind is supposed to be controlled by the practice of yoga. But such practice is never practical for a person like Arjuna. So therefore, the easiest way to control the mind is that one should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in all humility. And that is the method that is being prescribed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the people in this age and time. So, Savai Manaha Krishna Padara Vindayo. One must engage one's mind fully in Krishna. Only then there will be no other engagements to agitate the mind. So this is what we studied in our previous session. We saw about the nature of the mind. It's very hard to control the mind, but still one can control it if one is suitably engaged in Krishna consciousness. And for that we also saw the case of Saubari Rishi. So what happened to him? He was trying to control his mind. He was trying to perform Ashtanga Yoga and he was trying to undergo all sorts of austerities. But a little bit of disturbance, everything went away. And then after he had a lot of enjoyment for several years, finally he fixed his mind on Krishna and then he could attain perfection. So his story is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we saw that story in our previous class about controlling the mind. Okay? And of course, the final verse of the Bhagavad Gita was 647, which is Yogi Namapi Sarvesham, where Krishna said, the best of all yogis is actually my devotee. So Krishna openly claimed that in the end of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now we are entering the 7th chapter. So this 7th chapter is actually titled The Knowledge of the Absolute. And officially we are entering the path of devotion in the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita talks about various topics. And we saw about the yoga ladder 2 classes before this. We saw about the yoga ladder, and we learned that the process of bhakti yoga is actually the topmost. Among all the yoga systems that is being taught, bhakti is the topmost. That is what we learned. Now let's see the division of the Bhagavad Gita. How many chapters are there in Bhagavad Gita? Anyone?
18.
How many verses are there in Bhagavad Gita?
18.
How many verses overall?
700.
Very good. 18 chapters, 700 verses. And it's so interesting that our acharyas have given us this classification. They tell us that the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita touches upon Karma Yoga, Karma Mishra Yoga, a little bit about Dhyana Yoga. We saw in the 6th chapter about yoga, right? So Dhyana Yoga, it talks about how to act in Krishna consciousness. It tells us about how to discriminate the self from the body. Especially the 2nd chapter, if you remember, we covered so many verses in the 2nd chapter. It was all about the difference between the body and the soul. Okay? So the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita pretty much makes the foundation really strong, and it talks about these topics. Now, from chapter 7 to 12, the focus seen there is on Bhakti Yoga. So this is the most precious part of the entire Bhagavad Gita, chapters 7 to 12. Then from chapters 13 to 18, the more focus is seen on Jnana Yoga. So this is how our acharyas give us the classification. And not just that, they give us this analogy of a cookie with its cream in the center. Now you have a cookie. How many of you have eaten cookies with cream in the middle? Yes, no?
Yeah, Oreos.
Oreos, yeah. So you see, there are 2 pieces of cookies and in between there is cream, right? So like that, this Bhakti Yoga is sandwiched between Jnana and Karma Yogas, and the most precious part, the tastiest part, the sweetest part, the cream is actually sandwiched in the center. And that is Bhakti Yoga, and that is what we are going to enter into. So chapters 7 to 12 will be very interesting. Krishna is going to talk about Bhakti. And our acharyas also say about the placement of these chapters. Why should it be in the center and not towards the end? Because the precious thing, the most precious thing is always guarded on all sides. So therefore, the cream, the sweetest part, the center filling is guarded on both sides, and that is Bhakti Yoga, which we are going to enter into. Now, what we need to do is we need to read the verse and then understand the translation before we get into the explanation. So please repeat after me. Manushyanam sahasreshu
Manushyanam sahasreshu
Manushyanam sahasreshu Manushyanam sahasreshu Kaschit yatati siddhaye Kaschit yatati siddhaye कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
यततामपि सिद्धानां
यततामपि सिद्धानां
यततामपि सिद्धानां
यततामपि सिद्धानां
यततापि सिद्धानां
यततामपि सिद्धानां
कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
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 यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
तथामपि सिद्धानां
कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेति तत्त्वतः
Very nice. So you see these words are repeating. You see kaschid is here, kaschin is here. Yatati is there here in the second line. Again in the third line you have a similar word yatatam. And then you have here siddhaye, you have siddhanam. So you will see these three words, they are actually repeating in different ways throughout this verse. I mean throughout this entire verse. So you can understand, I mean you can remember it quite easily. You just have to make sure that these words are there twice in your verse to check if your verse is correct. Okay, and let's see if you know some meanings. What is manushya?
Manu, man.
Man, a person, manushya. Okay. Sahasra.
Out of many thousands.
Yeah, sahasra is 1,000 actually. And sahasreshu is out of many thousands. So just like you have shata is 100, sahasra means thousands. Like you might have heard of this sahasra sirisha purusha. That is the Lord with thousands of hands and thousands of mouths and thousands of eyes. Like that the Lord is glorified. So Sahasra in Sanskrit means thousands. And Kaschin is someone. So you see twice here it's Kaschit, someone. Again you see Kaschit, someone. Siddha, what is the meaning of Siddha? To attain?
Perfection.
Perfection. So you see the word Siddha, it's again repeated twice. Siddhaye Siddhanam. Perfection, perfection. For perfection, those who have achieved perfection. And what is Tattva? Tattva is truth. Okay, the absolute truth. We talk about Vishnu Tattva. We talk about Vadanti Tattva Vidas, the three Tattvas that one should know about the absolute truth. So Tattva is basically a fact or something that should be known in truth. Okay, that is Tattva. And Yatata here is endeavor. Like you might have heard of the word Prayatna, Yatna, Yata. So Yatata is actually endeavor. So just remember some keywords so that you can frame your verse nicely or remember your verse nicely. So now let's do the translation together. Out of many thousands among men,
Many thousands among men,
One
one may endeavor for perfection.
one may
endeavor for perfection.
And of those who have achieved perfection,
And of those
who
who
have
achieve
achieved perfection,
perfection,
hardly one knows me in truth.
hardly
hardly
one knows
one
me in
knows
truth.
in truth.
So out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection.
God,
And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So who's this me here? Who is the me here?
Krishna,
So Krishna is the me, correct. Okay. So Krishna is telling that many people are trying, many people are endeavoring for perfection. They are trying to become perfect. Okay, many people are trying. But out of the thousands who are trying, only one may have achieved perfection. Sorry, let's do it again. Out of many thousands of men, one first of all endeavors for perfection. There could be thousands of people in this world, but very few are even interested to attain perfection. And among all those who are trying for perfection, only one has really attained real perfection. So, and real perfection means to know Krishna in truth. So this is what Krishna is trying to tell here. Okay. So, let's first split the verse into different portions. So in the beginning, Krishna says, out of thousands, only one endeavors for perfection. Endeavor means to attempt, okay, to take the pains to achieve something. That is endeavoring. So out of thousands of people, there may be only one person who is actually interested in gearing towards perfection. Now, what does that mean? That means only one may be interested in knowing, who am I? Is this body different from the soul? And who is the absolute truth? So such questions very few people ask. Okay, now you are all devotees, you're all wonderful devotee children. So all of you are trained to ask these questions from the beginning of your life. But look at the world around you. How many people are really asking this question? How many people are really asking, who am I? Why am I here? Who is God? What is my relationship with Him? Am I different from the body, or is the body me? Such questions not many people ask, because everyone they're just out here enjoying this world, but not many people ask these very important questions. Therefore, even our own Vedanta Sutras, which are supposed to be very, very important in our Vedic tradition, even they begin with this verse, inquire unto the Supreme. That's your first business. You have taken this human birth. So your first business here is Atato Brahma Jignasa. That means your first business is to inquire into the Supreme. Why are you, here? Who is the person who has put me here? Why am I here? What is my relationship with that Supreme Person? These are very important questions. And these important questions are asked by very few people. So therefore Krishna says, out of thousands of people, only maybe one person would endeavor to know these things and attain perfection. And this is what actually makes a human being different from an animal. So you tell me, you're all learning Bhagavad Gita and you know so much about Krishna consciousness. So you tell me, what is it that makes us different from animals?
Our intelligence.
In what kind of intelligence?
To know God.
Yes, intelligence to know God, because animals also have their instincts, and sometimes you can see intelligence exhibited by certain animals as well. Out of their want to attain certain things, yes, they can show a little bit of intelligence. But to ask questions and to ask about the most important question, why am I here? I mean, am I different from my body? Just satisfying my bodily needs is the end of this life? Is that all? Such questions are asked only by human beings. Animals, what do? They're just worried about eating, sleeping, defending, finding a shelter. These are the things that animals are worried about. But whereas human beings, we are also worried about it. And in fact, we appear to be more worried about it because we are trying to get all this in the most sophisticated manner. We are building the best of the houses. We are eating the most pleasurable foods. We are doing everything to satisfy our senses. So animals are also doing the same thing. We are also doing the same thing. But really, in reality, what makes human beings different is that we have the power of inquiry. And what is the most important thing you should inquire? What do you think is the most important thing you should inquire? Where's my food today? Where's my shelter today? Is that what we have to inquire? Which is the most important thing?
Inquire who is God and how do we understand to get Him.
Yes, that is correct. So we must endeavor for perfection. So taking this human birth, Krishna says it's very, very rare. We all know how many, species are there? How many forms of life are there in this universe, according to our scriptures?
8,400,000 species.
Yeah, 8,400,000 species. And the human beings are very, very special because this birth is very rare. And in this birth, very, very few people, they actually endeavor. Yes. Very, very few people are actually endeavoring for perfection. Okay? Now, among these people who are endeavoring for perfection, so we said out of 1,000, only one person is trying. Now, among these people who are trying, there are three kinds of transcendentalists, or three kinds of people endeavoring for perfection. And these three kinds of people are people who are trying to realize the Brahman feature of the Lord, people who are trying to realize the Paramatma feature of the Lord, and people who are trying to have the Bhagavan realization of the Lord. So you have already learned these concepts of the Brahmajyoti or the Brahman realization, the Paramatma realization, and the Bhagavan realization. So can you tell me what is the Brahman, what is the Brahmajyoti? Anyone can try? Can you tell?
Like Krishna's everywhere, but like he's like formless. He's like the
Yes.
light.
Very good, very good. What about the Paramatma realization?
Krishna's everywhere in like an invisible form everywhere.
Where is he as a Paramatma?
Even in your heart.
Yeah, in your heart. And the Bhagavan realization is?
Krishna has many forms.
The personal form of the Lord is the Bhagavan realization. And you know this analogy of the sun disk and the sunshine? Have we learnt it together or no? Okay. So you see the sun has a sun disk and there is sunshine. Okay. So the sunshine is the all-pervading feature of the sun. Sunshine is there everywhere. Once you wake up in the morning and the sun rises, everyone gets sunshine. So it's pervading everywhere. So the sunshine is an example to understand how the Brahman is all pervading. Okay, the Brahman realization is just like understanding that the sunshine is there everywhere. The next level of realization is that there is actually a disk. The sunshine is actually coming from a sun disk. There is a ball out there that is really, really shiny. That is called as the sun. I see a planet, a disk-like planet right there. So that realization, when you look beyond the sun rays, you see this planet. So when you see the sun's disk, that is a more complete realization as compared to the realization of sun rays. So therefore, the Paramatma realization is compared to the realization of the sun disk. And beyond that, there is actually this particular astral body called as the sun that exists, and there is a, in layman terms, you can even call it a planet, and you can say there is something inside that ball, right? The details that is there within the sun, that is compared to the Bhagavan realization. So actually, Bhagavan is a person, he has a form. So you get into more details about the sun only when you go and, scrutinizingly inspect what is there inside that astral body. So therefore, Bhagavan is the most complete realization. So Prabhupada, he always compares the Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan realizations to the sun globe itself inside, the sun disk and the sun rays. So he always gives this comparison, which is so beautiful that you can really remember these levels of realization. But however, we know that there are different kinds of people endeavoring for perfection. Still, very few really understand who's Krishna. Very few have this Bhagavan realization. Very few understand who's this God. Oh, God has a form, God is a person, He has so many relationships with us. So very few people, they come up to this Bhagavan realization. Or Prabhupada says all the yogis and the jnanis who are up to Brahman and Paramatma realizations, they're completely confused. They're completely confused by their attempts to understand Krishna. And Krishna can be understood only by his devotees who actually are in Krishna consciousness, who are after this concept of Bhagavan realization. So you really understand what the sun is all about when you take a microscope, what do you call a telescope, and you start studying the internal features of the sun, right? So like that, only when you pay close attention to who the Supreme Lord is, you can truly understand what the Bhagavan feature of the Lord is all about. Okay, very few people. 1 in 1,000 endeavor for perfection. Among all the people who are endeavoring for perfection, there is only 1 out of 1,000 who really understand this Bhagavan feature, and they understand who is God, who is He in reality. They really get it. Okay, very few people. So there is a story. There's a very sweet story of this astrologer by the name Sarvagnya. Now, this story has been mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Lord Chaitanya to Sanatana Goswami. It is also mentioned in one of the commentaries of the Madhava Bhashya. And it's a very interesting story. Let's see what the story is all about. So once there was a very, very poor man, and he was desperately in need of money. He just wanted money some way or the other, and he didn't have anything. So he met an astrologer accidentally by the name Sarvagnya. Sarvagnya means an astrologer who knows the past, present and future. So a very good astrologer is called a Sarvagnya. Okay? So this man, he met this astrologer Sarvagnya by accident. And he went to him and he asked him, so I'm so badly in need of money, but I'm so poor. Tell me what I can do with my astrological chart. Can you see my chart and tell me what is good? Am I going to get some money at all or no? Then this astrologer, he took out his chart and he inspected it, and he told this poor man, there is no way that you can be poor. There is no way from your chart. I can tell you for sure. I'm a very, very well-read astrologer. I can tell you for sure that there is no way that you can be poor. There is actually a hidden treasure for you, and it is waiting. And this hidden treasure was left for you by your father. Your father is no more now. He's dead and gone. But he has left this very precious treasure for you. So you're not poor. You're very rich. But all that you need to do is you need to dig it out and get this treasure. Okay. In those days, you might have heard of these stories where there could be pots of treasure hidden within the earth. Like you dig your backyard and you'll find a pot of treasure. So these kind of things used to happen in previous times and ages. So when this poor man heard that he had a great treasure that was left by his father, was very excited. He was very excited. So he thought, now I can really become rich. I can access the highest treasure that my father has given. Okay? So he got very excited and he took a spade and he was ready to go. What do you call it? You call it an axe or what do you? No, it's not. It's a spade, right? So he took that and he went to his backyard. But then the astrologer stopped him. The astrologer stopped him and told him, you should be very careful. Okay? You have a good backyard, but you make sure that you actually dig on the eastern side. You make sure that you do not dig anywhere in the southern side. Why you should not dig on the southern side? Because in the southern side, you will be attacked by a poisonous wasp. Okay? And just by the poison of that wasp, you'll become baffled. You'll become agitated. You will not know what is the, you lose yourself. You lose your composure. So don't go to the southern side of this yard. If you start digging there in search of your treasure, you will be attacked by this poisonous wasp and you will be baffled. Okay? Then Sarvagnya told him, on the southern side, don't go, next he said, don't go to the western side. Okay, he said southern side, there is a wasp, it will attack you, you will get baffled. Then he said, on the western side, also you should be very, very careful because there is a yaksha who's actually guarding the treasure. That yaksha is sitting on the western side. So don't go there because this yaksha is like a guardian and he won't let you take the treasure. Rather, he will kill you and you will die. Don't go to the northern side also. In the northern side, there is a huge serpent that is waiting. The minute you go there to dig the soil there, the serpent will catch you and it will devour you. So be very careful and go and search only on the eastern side of the yard. That's the only place which is correct, and that is where you will actually get your treasure. So this story, and he went there and he dug up the eastern side and he found this treasure. Now this story actually is very instructive on a different level. Okay? The treasure that we are all given by our Supreme Father Sri Krishna is the treasure of bhakti. That is what we have to uncover. The treasure of pure devotional service, the love of God. He's given us that. We just have to uncover it. We have to find the treasure. But we should be very careful to dig it in the right place, to go for it in the right method. Okay? We should go to a bona fide spiritual master. We should take up devotional service in the right way. There are so many allurements in this world. One very, very heavy allurement is this poisonous wasp. And what is this poisonous wasp all about? It is not devotional service. Rather, it is all the Vedic rituals. All the Vedic rituals that are being conducted, thinking that it is good for you. In this world, we are up to so many mindless rituals, which we think is actually good for us. But actually, these are just distractions. They are like the wasp that bites you and you get baffled. You completely lose your composure. So, we should not get attracted to too many Vedic rituals. Rather, we should be focusing on devotional service. On the Western side is the process of jnana or mental speculation, which is like the yaksha that guards this region, and it may even kill you. It will just kill you. The more you indulge in mental speculation, thinking, oh, is this God? Is that God? Try to find out God by just your mundane intelligence. That is going to be very difficult because it will ultimately kill you. And you will never get the true treasure that God has left for you. If you go to the northern side, it is like the people who are performing meditation and yoga, and this is like a serpent. It's not going to take you anywhere. It will devour you. We saw the story of Shaubari. We saw what happened to him. He got entangled and he fell down. So that is like a serpent. So you should be very careful. You should go to the right direction. You should take the right path. You should take the path of bhakti, which we are now exploring. And this is the greatest treasure that is found in the eastern side. It is the right path, and this devotional service or Krishna consciousness is the greatest gift that is given to us by our Supreme Lord and Supreme Father Sri Krishna. So, among thousands of people who are endeavoring, there are so many people who are endeavoring, but still very, very, very few people go to the eastern side and dig for this treasure in this manner, and they find it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through the story, he tells us how important it is to focus on pure devotional service and not get distracted by so many other allurements and offerings in this world. Now, to understand that actually Krishna is the Supreme Lord, it is not very easy. Krishna is the Lord of all lords. Below him is a huge network of so many demigods. And then there is this material world, and there are so many jivas. Everybody, pretty much everyone is being controlled by the Supreme Absolute Truth. So understanding such a great personality is actually not easy. When we say that we should understand the Lord in truth, right? That is what this verse said. It said that hardly one knows me in truth. Very, very few people who are endeavoring know me in truth. So which means that actually devotional service is not all that easy. We say, oh, chant Hare Krishna and you will know everything. But it is not just the mechanical process. It's not just, vibrating and taking it very easy. Krishna consciousness should be taken very seriously. It's a very precious gift that is given to us by our Father. It is like that pot of treasure. It is that huge chest of treasure. We should give it a lot of respect. And we should take the process that is given to us very seriously so that we can understand who this Supreme Truth is in reality, who He really is. Okay? And let's see about this real person. He is beyond our sense perception. The Supreme Lord, who's a person, who's Bhagavan, who's got so many wonderful features, who's our ever well-wisher, He is not someone that we just understand by sense perception. There's a beautiful verse. I think this is by this is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. He says, no one can understand Krishna as he is by our blunt material senses. Just by, like for example, if there are some germs that you cannot see, you can take a microscope, focus nicely, and you can see this bacteria and virus. If there is a faraway planet that you're trying to find, you can use a telescope and find it. Like that, there are different methods. If someone is not able to hear properly, they can use a hearing aid and they can amplify the sound. So there are so many facilities for sense perception. But whatever you do, Krishna, He is beyond our sense perception. You just cannot understand Krishna by seeing or hearing or tasting. Complete understanding of Krishna doesn't come like that. Krishna can be understood only when Krishna desires to reveal Himself. He reveals Himself being pleased with devotees. When is He pleased with devotees? He is pleased with devotees when they do transcendental loving service unto him. So when there is love in the service that you do, that is when you can really understand Krishna, because Krishna himself will reveal himself to you. You cannot understand him by your independent endeavor. Rather, he will reveal himself to you. How does he reveal himself to you? Only if you do loving service to him. So this is the secret. This is the secret of really understanding who is Krishna in truth. Okay, this verse is talking about a person who understands Krishna in truth. One among a million, okay? One among thousands, search for the truth. And among those who are searching, thousands of people who are searching, only one understands Krishna. How do they understand him? They understand him in truth. Really, how do they understand him in truth? It is only by the mercy of Krishna. It's only by his causeless mercy that he reveals himself. What should we do to make him reveal himself? We should engage in loving devotional service. And there we see the story of a great saint by the name Surdas. So this Surdas, he was a very great poet. He would sing beautiful, beautiful bhajans on Lord Sri Krishna. And he loved Krishna so much. His whole service was singing beautiful bhajans for the pleasure of Krishna. And he would do it with so much love. He was blind. He couldn't even see. But when he would go to the temple, Krishna would reveal himself completely to Surdas in his heart, that though Surdas was blind, when he went to the temple, he would exactly describe the beauty of the deity in front of him, the beauty of the Krishna deity in front of him, how Krishna is being dressed, what are the jewels Krishna is wearing, what anklet Krishna is wearing today, what kind of garments he is wearing, how he is holding his flute, how the peacock feather is decorating his crown. So all these details Surdas was able to sing. He was able to sing, not that he was visually seeing the deity in front of his eyes, but rather Krishna was so pleased with him that Krishna would reveal his beauty from within. Though being blind from inside, Surdas could actually see the beauty, the transcendental beauty, who is beyond our external senses. Surdas was able to visualize this. In fact, it so happened that once some people who were very envious of Surdas, they thought that this man is actually cheating. How is he able to sing about the beauty of the deity so nicely, so perfectly? Every day Krishna came out with a different set of jewelry. Krishna gave darshan with a different set of clothes. Surdas could make accurate descriptions. He could make accurate descriptions of how the deity was being dressed, though he was completely blind. So people around him were envious and they thought this man is cheating. He's not really blind. Until you see Krishna like this with your external eyes, how can you describe him with so many details? He said it was not possible. So once they wanted to test him, and what they did was they closed the altar and they asked Surdas to come in front of the deity curtain and they asked him to sing. What they did that day was they just decorated the deity with jewelry, like pearl jewelry, and they didn't put clothes on the deity. Rather, they made an entire dress with jewels. And they covered the deity with jewels, and they asked Surdas to come and describe the beauty of the Lord, keeping the curtain closed. Even then, that day, Surdas made a very beautiful bhajan on the beauty of Krishna's form covered with jewels. So that's when people realized that Krishna, out of love, he reveals himself to his devotees. It is not the external vision that makes us actually see Krishna. Rather, it is only by Krishna's mercy we can truly see who he is. So the people around Surdas could understand the greatness of Surdas that day. So Krishna is beyond our sense perception, and he truly reveals himself only to a surrendered devotee like this, who's always engaged in Krishna's pure devotional service. So that was the verse for today. I'll read the translation again. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows Krishna in truth. So we know that there are many people out there in the world, and no one is really interested to ask the most important questions. Everyone is staying there in the bodily concept of life. Very few people ask the important questions. What is the self? What is the body? What is the absolute truth? What is my relationship with God? Why am I here? And so on. Okay? Out of thousands, only one endeavors for perfection. And among the thousands who are out there endeavoring for perfection, there is only one who really understands who Krishna is, who the supreme absolute truth is. And really understanding him is not all that easy. To understand him in reality, who he truly is possible only by his mercy, when he decides to reveal himself to his devotees who are offering transcendental loving service unto him, just like how Surdas did. Okay? So any questions, comments, and you have anything you want to share? Otherwise we can go and revise our verse. Okay, let's revise the verse. Then you can take turns and start.
Ashutosh.
Yes, Ashutosh.
Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhyahe yatatamapi siddhyanam kaschin mam veti tatvata.
Very good. Translation.
Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
Very good.
Hare Krishna Mathaji, can I see the verse?
Yes.
Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschidavati siddhaye yatataamapi siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvataha.
Very
Out
nice.
of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
Very nice. Thank you. Siddharth, Sai Vedas, Krishna Chaitanya.
This is Siddharth. I'll say it, Mathaji.
Yes.
Janam sarvaseshu kashir yatati siddhyaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvataha.
Very good. Translation.
Many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Siddharth. Sai Vedas.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Manusyam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaya yatatam api siddhanam kaskin mam veti tatvata. Translation. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
Very good. Very good. And who else? Krishna Chaitanya, did you go? Krishna Chaitanya? Okay. So thank you all so much for joining, and I hope I didn't miss anyone. Is there anyone else I've missed? think Asra is not there. So, yeah, I think we have covered everyone. Okay, so we'll meet again next week with another verse. Okay? Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। हरे कृष्ण।